Ladies and gents, you know it's supposed to clean up gang, and I don't miss nothing at all. Now, I was gonna cover this when it happened, right? But I didn't have a lot of time. I was doing a lot of stuff, so I wasn't able to do it. I see a lot of people covering the topic. I really don't want to be generic, but I hope you guys click on this video because I got a lot to say in this video. Now, everybody knows that Danny Garcia is. I hate Danny Garcia. Not hate him like as a person because I don't know him as a person, but I'm talking about as a boxer. Like I feel like Danny Garcia, like he is not who people claim him to be. Like Bernie the Boxer said this on his channel and it made a lot of sense. Danny Garcia fought a lot of fighters when they weren't the same anymore. They weren't the same when he fought them, right? And when he was at 140 and he was supposed to take care of business and fight Victor Posto, the boogeyman on 140, he didn't fight Victor Posto, right? He gave that man step aside bread. He did everything, vacated his belt. Like he didn't want to have nothing to do with Victor Posto. And then when he came to 147, his everything just went down the drain. He had a shitty career at 147, and a lot of people put him on the same level as Terrence Ball Crawford and Sean Porter, and he doesn't belong at on those levels, on that level with those guys. I don't care if he won a belt in 2 different weight classes. No, nigga. No, you didn't fight the best guy at 140, and that was Victor Posto. You ran from that nigga. You feel me? Because you knew that Victor Posto was smacked in his prime, and you knew that he was going to whoop your ass. So he didn't fight a Victor Posto, right? He ran away from a Victor Posto. So y'all know that I do not respect Danny Garcia when it comes to that. But Danny Garcia, he did something on Saturday after he defeated Jose Benavidez that I don't think a lot of men have the balls to do, and not showing emotions, crying, breaking down in public, right? Danny Garcia spoke on depression and anxiety that it kind of hit home for me because I battle that thing, depression and anxiety also, right? Probably not at the same magnitude as Danny Garcia. Everybody deal with certain things differently, so it probably don't affect me as much as I would affect Danny Garcia, or it probably do affect me more than I would affect Danny Garcia. But I battle with that same thing too. So I applaud Danny Garcia to come open to bring awareness to this problem, because a lot of people done lost their life to depression and anxiety, right? And this is why I could never be a fan of an Errol Spence Jr., right? Because y'all see what he says. People trying to figure out how they gonna pay their mortgage or rent every month, etc. Like I said, I don't give a fuck about none of that, and I don't care. He said I don't care who think what about what the fuck. I care about a rich nigga being depressed. I'm sure my elders felt the same. Like, bro, what? What does being rich have nothing to do with depression and anxiety? Like, come on, bro. Like, come on. Now, I know that Angel Garcia, he had an interview where he was saying that Danny Garcia basically lost to Errol Spence because he was battling depression and anxiety. And I didn't like that from Angel Garcia. Angel Garcia, I hate him. He's a drunk. And I feel like Danny Garcia need to trade him in for get a new trainer. I'm not gonna say trade I'm getting a new father, but get a new trainer, because he's not a good trainer. And if you never tell your son that you weren't the better man that night, then there's no way he's gonna get better. Like, he's not gonna get better. Angel Garcia, he looks like he baby Danny Garcia, and he never sit here and tell him the truth. So like, Angel Garcia ran off his mouth saying that Danny Garcia lost because of depression and anxiety, and that might be the reason, but you just don't say that. Like, you take the responsibility and you say, all right, I wasn't the best man that night, the better man that night, and I lost. And that's it. You don't say and talk about no depression and anxiety. Even if it's true, it's going to look like an excuse, bro. Because Danny Garcia cannot be the only fighter that suffered from depression, right? And I'm pretty sure the guys that suffer from depression, they came out victorious. Pretty sure a lot of them came out victorious, right? And a lot of them don't speak on depression and anxiety. So that's why I applaud Danny Garcia for doing that. He take a lot of balls, and I knew that he was real when you seen him break down, because it looked like something that he couldn't control. It just came out. So for Errol Spence Jr. to say that and make it look like when you're rich, you have to be happy, is just to show you how uneducated that he is. And he's an asshole, bro. A lot of people don't want to say it, but Errol Spence Jr. is a asshole. And that's why I always say you can't be a fan of Terrence Ball Crawford and be a fan of Errol Spence Jr. because they stand for 2 different things. One is a stand-up guy. One is a family man. He do the greater things for boxing. Like he opened up gyms, right? and he's training the upcoming superstar of boxing right now with Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis, Lolo Davis, what's his name? Devin Haney, a lot of these guys that Turnbull Crawford is mentoring right now, right? And train with and spar with so they could be better. So by the future, by when they get older, they could say, yo, I sparred with Buddy and he taught me a lot. And this is why I'm so great. You feel me? Like, Turnbull Crawford does that for the youth. Like, Errol Spence Jr., he don't do none of that shit. He don't do none of that shit. You feel me? All he do is just run around rappers with big chain around his neck. You feel me? And just run off his mouth and say stupid shit all day long. You feel me? The uneducated statement that he made about being rich and being depressed, it just doesn't make any sense, right? I remember this man made fun of Turnbull Crawford for not getting a Manny Pacquiao fight. Him and his cheerleaders, the LDBC, made fun of, and I'm always gonna remember that shit because I looked at it as like, bro, that shit got nothing to do with you, bro. You feel me? That's beyond boxing. He missed out on an opportunity to feed his family, right? And you gonna talk about hashtag blame Bob, like, bro, like you're making fun of the nigga not getting the fight. Like, he's an asshole, bro. Any nigga you see running around rappers and every time you see him, and I meant to say this too, bro. Like I said, I got a lot to say. If every time you see Errol Spence Jr., he's always drunk, right? This is not recently. This is before. He was always drunk, right? If you got to drink every day, that means you're battling something. That means you're battling something, bro. Errol Spence Jr. almost died in a car accident, right? And the reason why he almost died is because he was drunk. He was intoxicated. And he was going like 100 and something miles per hour, right? For you to make fun of somebody that's going through depression, that you know that depression leads to death a lot of times, that's insensitive, right? And to show you that the car accident really didn't humble this man. It just made him more arrogant. So for you to say that, oh, I don't give a fuck about a motherfucker that's rich. A lot of people is struggling paying their mortgage, and a lot of people is struggling to pay rent. Like, bro, what are you talking about? I know a lot of poor people that's happy. You feel me? Just because you're going through something, just because you're struggling to pay your rent, that doesn't make you depressed. Like, come on, my nigga. Like, it's just to show you how uneducated this man is. And his fans are uneducated also because they're going to co-sign this. And a lot of them are going through the same shit that Danny Garcia is going through right now. So it's just to show you that this is not even about right or wrong. It's just about who's my favorite fighter, and no matter what my fighters say, I'm gonna hold on to it and I'm gonna nut suck this nigga, bro. And this is what the LDBC and Errol Spence Jr. does. Like, they say shit and their fans just run with it and just run so far with it, and they say that shit all day long under every single comments, right? Because they don't have a brain of their own, or all these niggas are burner accounts. I'm starting to believe that because there's no way y'all niggas could be that brainless, because it's gonna be somebody that co-sign what Errol Spence Jr. is saying. There's a time and place for everything, bro. You feel me? You don't sit here and come out and talk about you don't care about anxiety and all of this shit when a lot of people is going through it. When you yourself, I'm pretty sure, battle depression and anxiety because you almost died while you were drunk as shit, bro. And every time niggas see you, you're drunk. So that means you're battling something. So for you to say that about Danny Garcia, that makes you a hypocrite, and that makes you insensitive, and that makes you an asshole, bro. And people got to sit here and people got to let this man know that he's an asshole. And I can't be a fan of a nigga that's an asshole. And I can't be a fan of this nigga fighting style. Like, I hate his fighting style with a passion. I don't never see a nigga, and the only way for that fighting style to work is if you're actually bigger than what you claim you are, right? So if you make 147, but you're not fighting at 147, you're fighting at like 170 something, bro. You're way bigger than the 147 mark, or even the 150 or 160. You're way bigger than that, bro. And then people got to understand, like, that's why this nigga defense, that's why it looks like he don't get hurt, because he doesn't get hurt like that, bro. Because for you to be that big, you're going to take punches from guys that's coming up from lower weight classes, right? And that's what he banks on. He banks on his size. He don't got no defense, bro. His defense is his jab and his size, bro. How in the sport of boxing, where boxing is predicated of hit and not be hit, bro, and this nigga get hit so much. When you take away his jab, he get fucked up. So I hate his fighting style, and I don't like him as a person. You feel me? And he has a whole lot of fans that co-sign him and think that he's so humble. And y'all never gonna sit here and call this nigga out for what he said, bro. Like I said, I didn't want to be generic and cover this topic, but the reason why I did is because that shit hit home, because I battle that shit sometimes too. You feel me? So I applaud Danny Garcia. Still not a fan of Danny Garcia. Still think that he's an opportunist and still feel like he would never fight Turnbull Crawford, right? But for him to do that, like, I'm a fan of Danny Garcia, the person. Still not a fan of the boxer. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Make sure y'all leave a like. Make sure y'all share this video if y'all enjoy this content. Make sure y'all hit that subscription button. That's all I got for y'all. And I'm out.